welcome to this week's video vlog. So for this week, I thought it's about that time to do my favorite reads of 2020. Now, we can all agree 2020 was a cornucopia of what the fuckery. And I've noticed that for like every month when I do like my wrap-ups, for like individual months, there have been times where I've just been like in a rut, in a slump, like nothing was grabbing me. And so I thought that for the year that my wrap-up wasn't going to be, I might have like 2 or 3 books, and I'm looking at them now and they're paperbacks. But as I started like looking through like my ebooks and my audibles, I realized that individual months might have not been that great, but as a whole of the year, I had a pretty amazing reading year. Like, I have some amazing books that I absolutely loved this year, and I look forward to sharing them with you right now. So, we are going to start with my paperbacks. These are, now again, this is not my wrap-up for December. These are my favorite reads that may not have come out in 2020, but that is when I read them. Excuse me. Not COVID, promise. Though I do think I had it back in March because I was sick then, and it was a different kind of sick. It was not pleasant and just but so these, again, these are my favorite reads that I read in 2020. So we begin with Karen White's The Lost Hours. Oh God, this book made me cry. The ending to this book made me cry so much. I mean, like, just why you do this to me, Dimmy? Why you do this to me, Dimmy? Just, oh my God, it was hard. Comment if you understand that reference. So yeah, Karen White, The Lost Hours, a book about 3 friends who share a very painful secret, and then you find out what the secret is, and then you cry, and then you find out another part of the secret, and you cry some more. It hurt. This book hurt me, but I loved it. It hurt so good, to quote John Cougar Mellencamp. Next we have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Pretty much every Kristen Hanna, keep a box of tissues close by. This girl, this woman, knows how to rip out your soul. 2 sisters set during World War II, and they're both living through Nazi occupation in France, Paris? In France, and they're both surviving it in very different ways. You will cry. That's just, you will cry. And then you'll cry, and then you'll cry. Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Any Kristen Hanna, just get a box of tissues because there will be tears. Beautiful, beautiful book. And oh my, look at that beautiful cover. Beautiful cover. I think the insert cover is just quotes. Yeah, just different quotes. So yeah, loved that one so much. And then I could not have this in my favorite reads of 2020. Originally, this book, I gave a copy of this book to my sister as a gift because it was from one of our favorite authors, Paulina Simons. And so she read it before I did. And she loved it so much. Then, of course, then I had to get my own copy, which I would have eventually, but I got it quicker because of her review. She loved it so much. And it is Lone Star by Paulina Simons. Johnny Rainbow, you beautiful, hot mess of a man. Blake, who is just the preciousest cupcake or preciousest cinnamon roll. He is too precious for this world. He is one of my favorite, I guess, sort of beta heroes. And I totally picture, my sister pictures Blake as KJ Appa from Riverdale, Archie. I picture Blake as I was going to say Jonathan Jackson. Not Jonathan Jackson, that's Lucky from General Hospital. Josh Jackson, who played Pacey from Dawson's Creek. I totally picture Blake as Pacey from Dawson's Creek. Josh Jackson. I can speak. I can words. Yeah, and if you are a fan of the Bronze Horseman series, there is a connection with that series in this book. I will not tell you what that is because I don't want to. I don't want to. I want you to discover that pain yourself. And yeah, Paulina Simons, Lone Star. Now, so I thought that that was going to be it for my wrap up because I was convinced that I didn't have I didn't have that many like ebook and Audible wins because for the last couple of months, ebooks and just Audible just have not been serving me well. But I guess these count because they're from like earlier in the year. So let's start with our Kindles. Yeah, we'll start with our Kindles. And the first is The Arrangement, Part 1 by Pia Monroe. Now, this is just actually like a little novella size. That's just, look at her gorgeous hair. I mean, good grief, that's some gorgeous hair. This is actually just like a novella size little like first part to the series, and I definitely want to read the rest. She walks into a BDSM club. She's there with a friend, I believe, and she walks into this room by accident, and he is expecting the sub he ordered to meet him in this room, and then this gorgeous woman walks in, and so he thinks, let's do it, and they do it, and it's awesome, and she decides she wants to explore a little bit more this newly awakened side of her. And it's just like, because she's, not that I don't like sort of like innocent virginal like characters, because I enjoy those, and I enjoy watching the evolution of that, but she was this very strong woman who just sort of didn't necessarily know that much about this newly awakened part of her that she never really experienced before. But she wasn't, when she discovered that she liked this thing, she wasn't really like afraid of it, or like like thought something was wrong with her or what have you. She was like, I want to know more, and I want you to teach me. So I was like, let's get on board. Let's get on board with this series. I'm very much looking forward to reading the rest. I just haven't had a chance to read the rest yet because there are so many books. Look at that. No, I'm going to do this again. Every time I do this, it's going to be wrong. I just, there. That, my TBR shelf on I guess, your You're right. You're right. I left. So yeah. Um, so that's that one. And then there was, oh, this woman can do no wrong so far. Roseanne Bittner's Outlaw Hearts. I have her book Thunder on the Plain in print on my keeper shelf. I think I mentioned that I'm going to get this one in print as well because oh my god, it's this outlaw gunslinger who falls in love with this woman who's pretty much lost everything. And so she wants to like travel west to like find her brother, um, to like help her either like keep her farm or just to sort of just help her because she's lost everything. And so she meets this outlaw and they fall in love, and it's it's like it's your romance novel, but on like a bigger, more epic, grander scale because it doesn't end with their happy ever after. There's they get married and they have this life and they're fighting for this life where he's trying to be this better man and live on the right side of the law, but there's his outlaw gang of enemies who want to take revenge on him, and there's the police that are still after him even after like he's out of the state, and they're like living on this like farm, and they have this like new life going, and they have these two kids and they're raising them, and then like um but he is determined to hide his past from especially his son, because he doesn't want his son to hate him the same way that he hated his father, that Jake hated his father. Um, but it ends up coming to bite him in the butt because the wife the whole time, ever since like the kids were small, she was like, tell them, what happened, because they're still gonna love you, and if you wait, it might come out in a way that's gonna hurt them. And that's exactly what happens. And oh, it's beautiful. It is a beautiful, beautiful story, and I think there's a sequel from the son's point of view. I think it's the son's story is next. I have to like look that up, but oh, I can just Roseanne Bittner can just do no wrong for me up to this point. Um, Next we have another. Yes, the last ebook that I have is Coulson's Wife by Anna J. McIntyre, and I love that cover. I love that cover so much. And it's the Coulson Family Saga, and it's a series. And this is Coulson's Wife is the first book, and it's this young girl who gets involved in this like arranged marriage with this guy who's like very cold and very remote and just not into her at all. I think he marries her, I think, for to like because he wants an heir, and it's just yeah, it's a marriage of definite convenience. Um, and the romance is not about them. It's because she falls in love with his best friend. Now, I thought it was going to be a marriage of convenience where eventually the husband falls in love with her. But that doesn't happen for reasons that I'm not going to spoil here for you. But they do grow to have this great affection and caring for each other. The one she does fall in love with is his best friend. And their love story is just, oh my god. All the feels. Oh, so many feels. Just all the happy book noises. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to spoil it for you. But Coulson's Wife by Anna J. McIntyre. And that gorgeous cover. I definitely want to read the rest of that series. And now I think we're going into Audibles, which audiobooks did well for me in like the beginning of the year because these are all pretty much in the beginning of the year. Lately, they've not been bueno for me. First, we have Dirty Letters by Vi, I think it's Vi Keeland and Penelope Ward. Oh, this book, y'all. This book, and the narrators are wonderful. Pen pals by a guy and a girl. Pen pals who they wrote to each other when they were children, and over the years, and I think into teenage adolescence, excuse me, I can words. And then something happens, and she stops writing him, and they lose touch. And then he writes her out of the blue, because he's drunk one night, and sort of like rails on her for like ending their friendship without like a word and like a reason, and just dropping him, and like how much that hurt. And so then she decides to go see him to explain, and then sexy times ensue, and it is just wonderful. Wonderful. First they start writing each other again, and sexy times ensue in letters, hence the title, Dirty Letters. But yes, then eventually she decides she's going to take the jump and go see him. I don't know if you can hear that, but it is windy AF outside right now, and it's starting to rain. So I'm sorry if the wind has been playing havoc with the sound on this thing. I really hope not. But yeah, sorry about that. But it's December. It's Canada. Let's just be glad it's not snowing. It has snowed, but right now it's not. There's no like big storm or anything. It's just rain. Rain and very much wind. So that was Dirty Letters by Vi Keeland. My next Audible is By My Soul by Jade West. By My Soul by Jade West. And Jade West, ever since I've discovered her, I have just been... She does dirty, rough erotica. But she does it like so well. Like there's still that emotion, there's still that connection between the characters where it's just not about the sex. It's amazing. She is just one of my favorite erotica writers out there. By My Soul, her sister is a junkie, so she offers to sell herself in her sister's place, because there's this organization of sexual service, I guess, where the women perform on screen, and men bid on them and then get to enjoy their sexual services personally. So she decides that she's going to offer herself in her sister's place. Sort of a weird kind of Hunger Games, but with sex. And I think he trains her for like 30 days or 60 days or something. I think it's 60 days. And of course they fall in love, and there are sexy times, and it's beautiful, and it's deliciously naughty and just wonderful. Next we have What the Wind Knows by Amy Harmon. Oh, this book. This book is so oy vey. I'm not Jewish, but oy vey. This book is just all the feels, all the wonderful, wonderful feels and tugging your heartstrings, just as Amy Harmon can. Time travel. She goes back in time to the time where her grandmother lived and fell in love during the war in Ireland. And she is apparently the close enough spitting image of her grandmother that when she goes back in time, they think she's her. They think she's her grandmother. Grandmother or great-grandmother. Because her grandfather is, great-grandmother. Because her grandfather is the son of the woman that they think she is. And she falls in love with the preciousest doctor. Dr. Tom is everything. Y'all, I loved Dr. Tom so much. He was just the preciousest man. And he deserves all the slinkies! All the slinkies for Dr. Tom. Read the book, and you know what I mean? I'm fine! I'm fine! I'm totally fine. All the good book noises. All the good book noises for Amy Harmon's What the Wind Knows. Just, oh my goodness gracious. And finally, we have Pretty Scars by C.D. Rice. Now, C.D. Rice this year has been sort of a hit or miss for me. She's an amazing writer. It's just sometimes for whatever reason, her stories just don't work for me, or I don't like a character or something like that. It's totally like a personal, on me, my issue thing. She is an amazing writer. If I can recommend, this one that I'm going to talk about now, but if you want to start, I would recommend her games duet, Marriage Games and Separation Games, because those are the two that introduced me to her. And oh sweet Georgia Peach, they are still the mecca of C.D. Rice. However, this book, Pretty Scars, that I listened to, fantastic narrators, again, by the way, Rich girl Carrie falls in love with musician Gabriel, and her family does not approve. So they do a very, 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 very bad thing to Gabriel. And then years later, he and Carrie meet again. And it's angst, and it's painful, and it's beautiful. Oh my sweet Georgia. Jesus H. Roosevelt Christ, this book was just, all the feels. All the feels. And Gabriel is everything. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. So, I think that's it for my favorite reads of 2020. Again, so like more than I thought I would have, because if I was to base it on recently, I'm just not have been so much with the great finds. So I thought that I you know, wasn't going to have that much to talk about. But looks like the first half of the year went really, really well. Yeah, so that's going to be it for this week's video. What were some of your favorite reads this year? Again, let me know if you understood that reference, that why you do this to me, Demi, that I like to say whenever things hurt me, like these beautiful books. Let me know if you understood that reference. Or if you're like Castiel from Supernatural and you don't understand that reference. And yeah, so that's going to be it for this week's video again. What were your favorite reads of 2020? Let me know. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/authorejamie. Like my Facebook page at facebook.com/authorejamie. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!